Good evening and welcome to Prime News. I'm Shantanu Dwella here with the headlines.
The President instructs officials to continuously grant relief to the people impacted by inclement weather and floods. The Consumer Affairs Authority is advised to enforce the law to the letter against traders issuing goods critical for public health. The IMF, addressing newsmen in New York, has declared that it has not reached any side agreements with Sri Lanka. Disaster damage following extreme weather conditions runs into millions of rupees. The death toll is over 23. Members of the Sanghas chant Pirith blessing ITN, which directed the trajectory of Sri Lankan television. And in news overseas, foreign leaders gather in France for D-Day's 70th anniversary commemoration.
In local news, President Rajapaksa has issued instructions to the officials concerned to continuously grant relief to the people impacted by the inclement weather and floods.
The President gave these instructions during a meeting with the Ministerial Subcommittee on Food Security and Cost of Living Control. The meeting was held at Temple Trees yesterday. He also issued instructions to the officials to maintain the required rice stocks to overcome a dearth of rice stocks that may occur in the future following the drought that was experienced during the Yalla season. He told the officials to unveil a special program to upgrade the nutritional status of the expectant mothers as well as the children, praising the dedication of government officials, including district secretaries of the districts concerned in all these activities. The President pointed out that it was the obligation of all officials to extend the relief required by the people. The meeting discussed at length the possible initiatives that could be taken to maintain reasonable prices of goods in the market. The Ministry of Cooperatives and Internal Trade has already launched a program to establish 12 economic centers and Laksatasa and cooperative societies countrywide to maintain reasonable prices for the goods available in the market. The President made inquiries into the progress of this program. Farmers in areas such as Norelia and Valimada are not in a position to market their produce due to false propaganda on the use of unfavorable insecticides. Taking cognizance of this issue, the President instructed at this meeting that immediate measures should be taken to rectify such false propaganda. Among those present at this meeting were parliamentarians, ministry secretaries and many senior officials.
The President has also instructed the Consumer Affairs Authority to enforce the law to the letter against traders issuing illegal goods critical for the health of the people.
During a special discussion at Temple Trees yesterday, President Rajapaksa instructed the Health Ministry and the Consumer Affairs Authority to jointly craft a streamlined program with regard to traders illegally releasing to the market goods injurious to public health. The Consumer Affairs Authority recently conducted a raid on a company which released a stock of pharmaceuticals, perfumes and cosmetics altering the date of expiry. The attention of the President was drawn to a stock of such goods. The President in this instance instructed the related authorities to take harsh actions in this respect. The President also instructed to blacklist such companies and prevent them from engaging in illegal businesses. The President asserted that no one could be permitted to engage in business which is harmful to the health of the people.
Meanwhile, the International Monetary Fund has emphasized that they have not reached any side agreements with Sri Lanka.
The IMF pointed out that it had not entered into any side agreements or secret arrangements with Sri Lanka. IMF spokesperson Jerry Rice expressed these views at a media briefing that was held in New York yesterday. He expressed these views in reply to a query raised by a journalist regarding a statement made by Vice Chairman of the UNP, Lakshman Kiryala. In reply, Jerry Rice stated that Sri Lanka completed its standby arrangement with the IMF in April 2012 and does not currently have a program with the fund. Rice concluded by saying that there are no further side agreements. IMF representatives last month announced that they visited Sri Lanka to extend their support for the development of the economy. They emphasized that they are not involved in any curtailment of funds for education. Addressing a news conference in Colombo on the 30th of last month, Todd Schneider, who led an IMF staff mission to Sri Lanka, emphasized that education budgets were not the delegation's area of expertise and that they believe increasing funds allocated for education is important. Responding to a query raised by a journalist in a media briefing, the IMF insisted that spending on education was vital for the country. The news conference was organised at the end of their visit from 20th to 30th of May to conduct discussions for the 2014 Article 4 consultation, the IMF's regular exchange of economic views with member nations.
The damage caused to property as a result of flooding and landslides following the extreme weather conditions experienced in the last few days runs into millions of rupees. The death toll is over 23. This damage could have been minimized if appropriate measures were taken to prevent the disaster through early detection.
It was after a considerably dry climatic spell that heavy rains were suddenly experienced in several districts due to a disturbance in the atmosphere before the onset of the southwest monsoon season. The hardships experienced by the people with the unexpected falls were immense. House and property were washed away, while people had to watch helplessly. Families and houses were buried alive by landslides. Although the rainfall was unexpected, were the disasters faced by the people unexpected? It has now been reported that many houses and properties that were devastated had been identified as prone to danger, and the occupants had been warned to evacuate. Warnings due to the threat of landslides and floods had not been issued only to houses. Other structures, such as parapet walls and inclines, had also been identified as places prone to danger. The parapet wall of a house at Putuarave in Thalangama, which caused the death of 2 persons in Malambe, is reported to have been identified as a danger area. An old couple in a house near the 18-foot parapet wall, which is reported to have been built irregularly, died on the spot due to its collapse on their house. It was revealed before the judiciary that the doctor who built the parapet wall had been informed on several occasions of the danger that was looming and requested by the old couple not to build it. The act of negligence had not only destroyed valuable property, the time has come to prohibit through the enforcement of law such negligent activities which take away innocent lives.
The circular with respect to Grade 1 admissions next year has been released. Applications will be entertained until the 4th of next month.
The Education Ministry dispatched the circular to all schools by registered post yesterday. Accordingly, the admission strategy adhered to last year will also be followed for next year's admissions. Although the Cabinet Subcommittee proposed that entitlement deeds and other additional documents be submitted, the process has not yet been completed. As such, it has been decided to adhere to the strategy followed last year. Students who complete 5 years on 31st January next year are eligible for admission. 50% of admissions will be made from among children residing close to the school. 25% will be allotted to admit children of past pupils, while 15% will be recruited on the basis of brotherhood. 5% will be allocated in Grade 1 vacancies for children of staff directly linked to school education. 4% is for children of public servants who have received transfers. The Education Ministry said that 1% of Grade 1 admissions will be set aside for children who are returning from abroad.
The members of the Mahasangha chant Set Pirit and shower their blessings on ITN, which commemorated its 35th anniversary.
ඔබේ පවුලේ නාලිකාව ස්වාධීන රූපවාහිනී සේවය දෙස බස රැස තෙරුවනසේ සලකා විශිෂ්ට මාධ්‍ය මෙහෙවරක නියැලෙන සිරිලක අංක 1 රූපවාහිනී නාලිකාව 35 වන සංවත්සරය සමරන
The Pirit chanting, organised to mark the ITN's 35th anniversary, commenced at its head office premises at Vikramasinghapura in Batramulla last night. Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of ITN, Rosman Senaratna, General Manager Aruna Vijay Singha, Working Director P.G. Dasanayaka, members of the Board of Directors and Deputy General Managers offered flowers to the shrine room at the head office premises and commenced the programme.
මුතුකුඩ යටින් සාදුනාද මැද්දේ වැඩමවාගෙනෙන පින්බර දසුනයි අප දකින්නේ.
Thereafter, the members of the Mahasangha were conducted to ITN in a colourful perahera with the Pirivana Potvahanse and the relics casket.
Vikramasinghapura Methiri Sankirna Parishray Ha ඒ අවට ප්‍රදේශය අලංකාර විදුලි බුබුළු වලින් ඒකාලෝක කරමින් අලංකාර තොරන් ඉදි කරමින්
Chairman Rosman Senaratne then invited the Mahasangha to chant Satpirit by offering the traditional Dahatvatya. The offering of flowers took place under the patronage of monitoring MP of the Ministry of Mass Media and Information, Manusha Nanayakkara. Delivering an Anusasana, Chancellor of the Kanani University and the head of the Vidyalankara Pirivena in Paliyagoda, the Venerable Valamitiyave Kusaladammathera said that the people themselves had raised the independent television network to the #1 position due to the immortal service discharged by it for the people. The prelate said that the people had not done so due to personal affiliations, but appreciating the services discharged by the institution through the programs telecast and that are being telecast today. Programs had been crafted in various spheres, gathering the intellectuals for the benefit of the country, the people and the culture, for the children to learn something, to solve problems that erupt within the country, and to clarify the views that surface within this context. Programs are also not aired merely for entertainment, but also to educate the public, to support in finding solutions to the problems of the country. He said that everybody in the country, from the president, watch this channel. He added that ITN has discharged an invaluable service in the past 35 years.
නොබලන කෙනෙක් නේ ජනාධිපතිතුමා ඉඳලා බලන බව මම අහලා තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා හොඳම හොඳ ආයතනයක් හැටියටයි ස්වාධීන රූපවාහිනී ආයතනය 35 වසරක් කරලා තියෙන සේවය.
The offering of Hildana to the Mahasangha after the all-night Pirit chanting took place this morning. ITN, having secured the blessings from multi-religious programs held throughout the last few days and the Pirit chanted throughout last night, is now geared to dedicate itself on behalf of the people.
The 2014 Future Minds Educational Exhibition gets underway. The 2014 Future Minds National Exhibition and Career Guidance Exhibition opened at the BMICH this morning under the patronage of Minister Bandula Gunawardena. It is being organised by the Junior Past Pupils Association of Nalanda College, Colombo. The Future Minds Expo 2014, which opened today, will be held until the 8th in Colombo, while plans have been drawn up to hold the exhibition at the Kandy City Centre on the 14th and 15th of this month. It will also be staged at the Galle Town Hall on the 6th and 7th of September. Many local as well as international educational institutions are contributing to this exhibition. Parallel to the exhibition, the Education Minister and guests who were present on the occasion handed over valuable prizes to winners of the Talent Tank competition, in which a large number of students from national and international schools participated. The funeral of S.T. Bandaranayake will be held at the Chandrajyoti Mahavidyalaya in Lakkala tomorrow afternoon. The remains of S.T. Bandaranayake are lying at his residence at Madukaswalawa in Yakkala. Our correspondent said that among the large gathering paying their last respects included many parliamentarians. Issuing a message of condolence, the Sri Lanka Freedom Party said that S.T. Bandaranaike's name will be immortalized in golden letters among the past active leaders who represented the party. In this condolence message, General Secretary of the party and Minister Maithripala Sirisena said that S.T. Bandaranayake is a rare example of a great statesman. The LTTE terrorists perpetrated many heinous crimes in the country and caused carnage and destruction to public property for 30 years. No one can estimate the damage they unleashed during this period. The country would have still been plagued by terrorism if the LTTE, which was a mortal threat, had not been totally uprooted by the heroic soldiers.
History could be traced back to the year 1987 when refreshing our memories on the lives of war heroes and innocent civilians grabbed by the LTTE terrorists on 6th June during the dark era. On 6 June 1987, the terrorists lying in ambush in the Achaweli area mooted an attack on the war heroes, killing 3 of them. Heavy fighting raged between the war heroes and the LTTE terrorists in the Misalay North on 6 June 1996. In these skirmishes, 7 brave soldiers made supreme sacrifices on behalf of the motherland. 3 more war heroes gave up their lives for the country in an assault which erupted between the war heroes and the ruthless terrorists in the Kalladi area in the year 1997, also on a day like today. On the same day, heavy fighting raged between the terrorists and the soldiers who were engaged in the Jayasikru operations. 16 war heroes made supreme sacrifices as a result. It was on 6 June 1998 that the terrorists mooted a mortar attack in the Mankulam area, taking away the lives of 10 war heroes. 3 valiant heroes sacrificed their lives on behalf of the country in an attack which erupted with the terrorists in the Elatumadual area. The barbaric terrorists, demented by the heavy defeat suffered, targeted an attack on the civilians in the Katubadda area on 6 June 2008. 23 civilians died in this bomb attack. The number injured in this attack was over 50. The number of lives grabbed by the terrorists on 6 June during the fear psychosis period was 88. This included 30 civilians. 58 courageous soldiers were also included in this figure. Following the fearless and unwavering decisions taken by President Rajapaksa as the Commander-in-Chief and under the guidance of Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa, the heroic soldiers succeeded in advancing in the humanitarian operations. Overcoming all impediments, the brave soldiers achieved their victorious goal at the Nantikadal Lagoon, obliterating the terrorists due to their immense dedication. Certain hostile forces are determined to destroy the peaceful environment. But the patriotic fraternity of the motherland will never permit such forces to raise their heads again. The nation has proven this with clear evidence, emphasizing that they remained with courage and strength with the Commander-in-Chief and the government. The people are clearly aware of the plans of these conspirators. As such, the people will not permit for such an era to resurface. The patriotic citizens have practically proved with evidence in this respect, further strengthening the government as well as the state leader. These dark memories are being refreshed in these episodes that the nation may act responsibly in a manner that ensures such destruction would not recur. Action has been taken to display the photographs of the war heroes who made supreme sacrifices in the battle to rout terrorism and discharge a noble service as an honor to the sacrifices they have made.
Diversity is a different kind of Turkish delight.
Istanbul is awash with millions of tulips as part of an international festival celebrating this colorful Asian flower. Turkey used to import tulips, but over recent years, the authorities have been investing in local growers, and now the country is self-sufficient. Take a stroll around Istanbul and the colorful flowers are everywhere. In fact, there are around 20 million on show in the city, representing more than 200 varieties. The Asian flower once represented the Ottoman Empire and is enjoying a revival. The sea of color helps to pull in thousands of local and overseas visitors.
Prime World brings you news overseas.
A very good evening to everyone joining us. I'm Dulanjali Mhindukula Surya, and here's a look at world views and world news with Prime World.
France's president has launched the D-Day 70th anniversary commemorations by paying tribute to those who died on a day that changed the world. Francois Hollande is at a veterans service in Bayeux where the Queen laid a wreath, and it was claimed that the US commitment to liberty was written in blood on France's beaches. They will gather at Ouistreham, one of the beaches where Allied troops landed. The landings were the first stage of the invasion of Nazi-occupied Europe. Meanwhile, Hollande has requested separate dinners with his US and Russian counterparts. The meals were planned to avoid a direct meeting between the American and Russian leaders. Hollande met with Obama at a Parisian restaurant off the famous Champs-Élysées Avenue, while the French president later met Putin at the Élysée Palace. China has overtaken the United States to become the world's largest e-commerce market, statistics from China's Ministry of Commerce show. According to the ministry, China's online shoppers numbered 302 million in 2013, and the total value of online transactions reached $296 billion, accounted for 7.8% of the nation's retail sales of consumer goods. To date, more than 250 non-financial institutions in China have been licensed as third-party online payment processors. Last year, the value of transactions through such third parties reached the $1.3 trillion. Online shopping in China generates more than half of the orders handled by domestic EMS companies. Gaming on the go is now all the rage, with players no longer limited to using computers or more traditional consoles for entertainment. The booming mobile app industry is set to be one of the headliners at this year's E3 Expo in Los Angeles. Despicable Me Minion Rush, one of the many games you can now enjoy on your mobile or other portable device. Gaming apps are big business, bringing in billions of dollars of revenue. Here at App Annie in San Francisco, a team of experts provide market data and analytics for the mobile app ecosystem, designed to help all those with a stake in the industry.
कृपया ध्यान दें, जम्मू से मुंबई आने वाली जवानों की हॉलिडे स्पेशल एक्सप्रेस प्लेटफॉर्म नंबर
मैं कैप्टन विराट, इंडियन आर्मी। मैंने आपको किस कहाँ किया? मैंने तो अपने मिरर को किस किया।
तू ही तो है ख्याल मेरा, तू ही तो है करार मेरा, झूठे नशे जहाँ में कभी तू ही तो है।
तुम इससे शादी करने वाली हो?
हाय हाय क्या बात है।
DIA Defense Intelligence Agency.
Holiday, A Soldier is Never Off Duty is an upcoming Bollywood action thriller film written and directed by A.R. Murugadoss and produced by Vipul Shah. It features Akshay Kumar and Sonakshi Sinha in the lead roles, along with Govinda in a supporting role. It is a remake of the 2012 Tamil film Tupaki, starring Vijay and Kajal Agarwal in lead roles, which was also directed by A.R. Murugadoss. The film is scheduled to be released today.
अरे यार ये बहुत रिस्की लग रहा है।
कुछ नहीं करेंगे तो ज्यादा रिस्की है। बूम! It's like a suicide attack.
मैं आ रहा हूं तेरे पास, जहां मिला खत्म कर दूंगा।
I'm waiting.
With that, we wrap up this edition of Prime World. Thank you for joining us. It's back to the main desk.
And finally for Prime Sports.
The Indian cricket team dropped a rung to third in the latest ICC one-day rankings announced yesterday. India lost its second position to Sri Lanka, while Australia maintained its place at the top of the heap. Sri Lanka's 3-2 series win over England helped it gain 1 ratings point to move up to 112, the same rating points as India. However, when ratings are calculated beyond the decimal point, Angelo Matthews' side edged out India. Uncapped trio Sam Robson, Chris Jordan and Moeen Ali have been named in the England squad for the first test against Sri Lanka, starting at Lord's. Australia-born opener Robson has yet to represent England at senior international level, but has played for the Lions development team, while pace bowler Jordan and all-rounder Ali have played limited overs cricket. Yorkshire paceman Liam Plunkett has been included 7 years after playing the last of his 9 tests for England against the West Indies, while wicketkeeper Matt Pryor returns after being dropped during the last Ashes series against Australia and struggling with an Achilles injury. Maria Sharapova booked her place in the French Open final for the third year in a row when she beat up-and-coming Canadian Eugenie Bouchard 4-6, 7-5, 6-2. The Russian 7th seed, who lifted the Susan Lenglen Cup in 2012 and lost in last year's final, will take on Romanian 4th seed Simona Halep, who beat German Andrea Petkovic in the second semi-final. Sharapova has now won the last 19 matches in 3 sets she has played on clay since losing to Justin Ennen in the third round at Roland Garros in 2010.
And that ends this edition of Prime News. Stay apprised on the go with itnnews.lk. Have a pleasant evening.